Hi, Matt. How are you?
Oh, I'm well, thanks. Can you hear me?
I can.
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Good.
And I think we're live. I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Chair.
Can't find
Buddy,
my iPad, so I had to install Zoom on this thing.
what are you on?
I have a laptop that I finally got virus protection. So,
Oh, okay.
so do we know who that other phone number is? Probably not a
That
member,
is
right?
Eric.
I'm hoping it's Eric.
It is.
Eric's here.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's Eric.
but we have 6 o'clock. Are we expecting Tanner?
No,
Adam, are you there?
I am. I should be.
Muted.
Nope. We can go live whenever you're ready.
Yeah, he's in town hall all by himself. Probably.
Please
Adam,
do.
are you there? Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can, yep.
Okay. So we're good to go whenever you are.
Tanner's not coming?
No.
Very good. I'm gonna have to turn a light on, and it's probably gonna mess up the screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn on a light too, actually.
All right, so welcome to Planning Board, Monday, January 24th, 2022. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised this meeting is being recorded and broadcast live over the Lunenburg Public Access Channel and on Facebook Live on the Public Access Facebook page, and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel within 24 hours after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link below. From a telephone.
Recording in progress.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I need to start over?
Nope, you're fine.
Okay. Got it. Where was I? Telephone, dial the toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter webinar ID 819-3565-2470. Again, ID number 819-3565-2470. If you are not registered with Zoom, you will be asked for your name and email address. No participation ID is needed. Just press pound when asked. Telephone users may dial *9 to request to speak after joining the meeting. Computer and app users may use the raise hand feature to request to speak. This hearing will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting/hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. Please note that wearing face masks is currently required of all persons entering town buildings. Okay, Diddy. I'm Matthew. I'm the acting chair tonight since we don't have Mr. Cole. Just to call to order, I'll take a roll call attendance just to make sure that everyone hear each other. Mrs. Bertram.
Aye.
Mr. Torgerson.
Aye.
Aye, and an aye for myself. Everybody can hear me, and so we've called to order. Is there any public comment?
Hold on. We've got someone joining, so.
No, was that just Eric changing his name?
No, I changed Eric's name.
Okay. So the new person is Linda. So we're at public comment, if Linda would like to say anything. Indicate.
Do not see a hand raised.
Okay. Well, then we'll get right into it. Our one order of business tonight is an A&R plan for 64 Arbor Street.
So I received an email from the owner of 64 Arbor Street at the very close of business asking to continue this to the 28th of February and extending his statutory time limit to do so in order to address the issues that were presented by the Board of Health and their agent.
Okay, very good. And also, I just lost video. I poked something. I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to try to get it back.
We can still see you.
We can see you. Maybe you minimized it?
Maybe. I'm gonna hit.
Too many buttons, right?
You know what? I think I just changed tabs.
That could be it.
No. Wait a minute. I'm gonna hit.
Oh, now we lost your voice.
Uh-oh.
No.
There you go.
Okay. No, that didn't work. Anyways, I don't really need to see you guys, I guess. Okay, so that's our one new item, new business item. The rest is just committee report to minutes approval and direct.
So do we have to make a motion to continue that, or? is
You don't, because it's not a hearing. So we have the letter from him requesting that, so we'll keep that in the file just to prevent any constructive approval coming forward.
Okay.
So it's really housekeeping from here on out.
Okay.
I guess we'll get into minutes approval. If
I would make a motion to approve the minutes of January 10th, 22. I would also make a motion to approve January 10, 22 for 97 Cross Street, 125 Cross Street, 430 Memphis Road, and 440 Memphis Road.
Very good. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, so we'll have to do this roll call vote. All in favor, Mrs. Bertram,
Aye.
Mr. Torgerson, and an aye for myself. Thank you very much. Right along to committee reports. So we've already got a new name. It's no longer the TCP/PTC. We're now Lunenburg Municipal Building Design Committee. Our new charge has been issued by the select board a week or two ago. We are going to be meeting this Wednesday at 5:30 virtually. I think it's 5:30. I don't remember, but no meeting, no report, basically. Agricultural Commission, we were not able to gain a quorum, so there's no report there. Stormwater Task Force.
The Stormwater Task Force met on January 20th and reviewed a lot of information. A couple of things of note: we're looking to expand the Stormwater Task Force by 2 members. Currently, there are 3: myself, Adam, help me, Jack Rabbit, and Todd Dwyer. And so we are looking to expand it by 2 members, and 2 people have expressed interest, and those are John Beal and Matt Proctor. So they did attend our last meeting. We talked about the Stormwater Task Force mission statement. We talked about upgrading the website, and that's something I'm actually working on, is some ideas for updating the content and coming more current with information. So that's something we'll be discussing in our next meeting. Talked about the need to establish metrics for figuring out where we are with stormwater, additional stakeholder outreach, really working on getting a handle on where we are with storm drain mapping, financial costs, grant finding. So there's a lot of work going on. And we are meeting now regularly on the 3rd Thursday of the month.
Excellent. So what do we call the members that aren't voting members that are on the?
Ex officio.
So Has there been any discussion or is there any interest in making possibly the DPW director, the land use director, the town manager, anybody else as an ex officio?
Both the DPW director and the planning director, I believe, are already ex officio. Am I wrong, Adam?
We are not members, we just attend as staff.
Oh, okay. I thought you were ex officio. Well, that would make sense to me. My dog just opened the door. I gotta go close it. I'll be back.
No problem.
Watch out. Sorry, too cold to have the door open.
No worries.
So I thought you guys were ex officio members, and it certainly makes sense to me. So I can
No,
bring
the
that up.
previous DPW director had been an actual voting member of the committee at one point, and through several iterations, he decided he didn't want to do that any longer. And
Okay. Okay. Well, I can certainly bring that up at the next meeting.
Very good. Then, as a side note, I just recently came across my my bag of Stormwater Task Force. I think it's like 4 years worth of stuff. It's probably 5 or 6 inches thick. I don't know
Okay.
if it'd be useful for you or we could share it.
I'd
or-
certainly be interested. I'm actually going through everything I can find on the website, and I've been reading all the annual reports and everything, and I went through all the links. So yeah, that would be helpful if you don't mind.
Yeah, and then the last thing on the stormwater is, understanding was that group was formed to find a funding mechanism for this mandate.
Well, there's a couple different things in the mission statement. We actually looked at that. We looked at what is our mission, and one is to identify ways to ensure that there's no pollutants entering water bodies. And then the second is to develop the comprehensive management plan and establish funding. So it's multi-pronged, but we are talking about either a stormwater utility or stormwater enterprise fund. And that's something we'll be talking about in the future. And in the big conversation we had at that meeting on the 20th was that we need a lot more data to establish the rationale before we can do public outreach. So when I talked about the metrics, one of the things we're talking about is how many catch basins are we cleaning? What kind of information are we finding? What improvements can we make? What does it cost? What does it cost us on an annual basis to deal with stormwater? So that's the kind of information we're going to focus the next several months on trying to find out. So then we can, move forward into making the argument and the pitch for residents to establish or at least consider establishing an enterprise fund or a utility. But there's a lot of information and legwork that has to happen before we get there.
Excellent. And also, you mentioned the utility again. I understand that Air recently started a utility. I don't know, but the town of Air, I think, has a utility.
There's a lot, and actually I just sent out a whole list of people that I found, of communities that I found. Pepperell has one, Westford has one, Westminster has one. So actually I've been doing a lot of information on how they establish them, and one town actually has a fantastic slideshow on how they approached it, so I just forwarded that. So we are researching how other communities establish them and how they did their public outreach and how they do their fact finding. So definitely something we're investigating. I didn't realize Air had, so I'll look into it.
Yep. Thank you much for that. And you're still open space?
I am. Open space, I wasn't able to attend the December meeting. Our next meeting is February 8th. But in December, I had shared that 490 Chase Road, we didn't vote to exercise the right of first refusal, nor did the planning board. We are continuing to investigate one particular parcel on Lake Shirley, and it's the parcel that was given to the town at Stump Cove, and looking at trying to find out and get a clear title on that property, because there isn't a clear title on that property for the town. So that's something we're continuing to investigate. Conservation is still working on updating information in the assessor's database. The trail grant the Conservation Commission had obtained. They have been able to, with the help of the Lunenburg Snow Riders, install 4 new informational kiosks, 6 new kiosks. So there are now 12 kiosks now up to date and containing all current trail information. We talked about possible properties for any future forest legacy grants. Brandon Kibbe is stepping down as chairman, so one of our first items at the February 8th meeting will be to nominate a new chairman. Bright Farms, I had mentioned some time ago that Bright Farms had gifted $10,000 to the town to be administered by the Open Space Committee. So we're going to be talking about best ways to leverage that and perhaps look at a grant and use that funding as a local match to obviously increase the impact of that donation. So that's open space.
Nice. Now, I thought I heard that the $10,000 was gone to the general fund. It was specifically earmarked for
It
open.
was specifically earmarked for open space.
Good. Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so now we're on to capital planning.
Capital planning, as I mentioned, we haven't met since our last meeting. As I had mentioned, we did prioritize those, and I actually just got another copy of the list that we had prioritized, so I'll send that to Adam so he can distribute it. We have received some feedback from people that are disappointed at the rating of the air conditioning at the primary school. It did not rate high on our priority list, so that may be a topic that we discuss again at a future meeting, but to date, nothing has been scheduled.
About the air conditioning, wasn't that a to-do about they decided to put that on there instead of something else they didn't expect to get rated very well?
I'm sorry, say that again?
So my understanding was that there were things, I think it might have been intercom or actually safety, and they didn't think that it would be prioritized as well as the air conditioning because it might have been more money. Kind of grasping at straws. I remember something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know we've heard from at least one parent that has, a child that is heat sensitive, and so, has expressed their concern that air conditioning did not rate higher on the priority list. I haven't heard anything else. I know the school committee was disappointed with the rating, but that's all that I know, Matt. We did rate. All I can think of for equipment that you're talking about is the DPW does not have radios to communicate with each other in the trucks, and that is something we rated higher. They were using their own personal cell phones, and when a new DPW superintendent came on board, he was surprised that there was no connectivity between the workers, and so that is something we rated higher than the air conditioning, but I'm not sure if that's what you're potentially referring to, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'll try to get the Economic Development Committee?
We meet this Thursday.
Okay, and we're still no representative for MRPC or MJTC.
That's correct.
Has anybody followed up or gone to any of the meetings or any information on either one of the Joint Transportation Commission or the Regional Planning Commission?
I haven't been able to.
Nor have I. All right, so then it brings us to the director's items.
So we'll go backwards because it's more fun that way. The warrant is open for annual town meeting, so if anybody out in TV land has citizen petitions or other articles they would like to discuss or submit, now is the time. I believe it's early March when it closes. I don't have the date on the top of my head. I believe the email went out town-wide. I can re-forward it to the board if you folks want. Water Supply Protection District. This is the one that the Water District had requested that we look at, or the DEP had requested we look at through the Water District. The woman who I had been working with or had been communicating with at DEP has quit. So I'm trying to track down her replacement and figure out exactly what they're looking for, because in doing a review of their review and our bylaw, the bylaw citations they were using didn't line up with the numbering and lettering of our bylaw as it currently exists. So it was difficult to make amendments. So once I nail that down, I will amend it, and I will invite Mr. McNamara to join us and discuss that.
And the goal is to put that on for the annual town meeting?
That would be the goal, yeah.
Okay.
And then when the board spoke with the proponents of the retail cannabis establishment on Summer Street, their attorney brought up what he felt was I won't say a deficiency. He felt that the bylaw didn't require him to submit a provisional license, and I spoke to town council about that. He said he's not willing to concede that that's the case. He said his reading is he believes that we still can and could require it if we wished. But he is working to craft language that would fit into that section that was brought up as something that the proponent's attorney felt was lacking the teeth that the board felt should be in there. So he is going to submit some language to me to bring to the board for submission to annual town meeting as well. I met with him.
And we will have time to get that on the warrant, discuss it, and then have the public meeting. The public meeting can be held after it goes out in the warrant.
The public hearing can be held yes, it can be held after it's submitted to the warrant. You are also legally permitted to make alterations at the public meeting if you so choose.
Okay, thank you.
But he will have that. I met with him today during office hours, and he is working on it, so I would expect we'll see it in the next few weeks.
Okay. So, and then just for clarification, we had a discussion similar to this as far as accepting the application.
Correct.
I think we agreed to go ahead and accept it?
You
Or
did.
we not? We did, okay. So this is just discussion about our bylaw.
Correct.
Okay. Beautiful.
No, we have not received the application.
We have not.
Okay.
I expect it will probably be another month or so before we hear from them.
Okay, and again, I want to reiterate, they're putting themselves at risk if there are not 4 members to act on it.
Mm-hmm. And I did speak to I did reach out to Mr. Brenner just to wish him a happy new year and see how he was doing. He communicated to me that his cancer was a little bit more aggressive than they thought that it was, but the treatment is working, if not uncomfortable, and he said he does expect that sometime in March we should see him again.
Good. That's good to hear.
So, well, it's sad to hear that he's having a harder time
Yeah, I
than
was
he
just going to
should,
say, sad to hear that it's worse.
but
than-
I'm happy that
worse
he's
than-
optimistic that he'll be back.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So,
But-
while we're speaking about the town meeting, and I can hold off until we get to the board comments, but I want to bring up the public market, the MGL for having a public market, brick and mortar, 24. And I can talk about it now, or I can talk about it in board.
Why don't we do it in board comments, since it's not really one of my items, it's more
Yep.
independent.
Sounds good. Excellent, I will write that down. So you're done with your director's?
I am
items?
done with my director's items.
So then on to the meeting schedule, it's the usual, the second and fourth Tuesday at Town Hall, 6 PM. I think we're gonna all mostly be remote. I think I had a discussion with Adam about it, but I still feel fairly strongly that it's kind of silly to have the town hall open, lit, and have employees.
Yeah, I
there.
think the next meeting I'll do remotely.
Just,
No, I agree. Because of the way things fell, I didn't want to, we had advertised things, or we were posting this as hybrid, I didn't want to have no one here. So going forward for the next 2 or 3 meetings, we can do it remotely. And
Okay,
to-
and I thought, are we going to have a quorum on the 14th?
that was my next question.
I will not be here on the 14th.
So we will not have a meeting on the 14th. Our next meeting will be on the 28th.
Good. So, anything else on the schedule?
We don't have anything currently on the schedule. I expect that there could be things that come, but nothing has landed in the office as of yet.
I think I was just talking, is there anything about meeting schedule before we go on to
Oh,
That's fine.
nope.
Okay. Ongoing items. Any word from Mass?
No,
State?
Pondview is still out in site approval limbo.
Isn't there a statutory time, or
Nope.
is there not? There is not, okay.
Because they're this is the funding fiduciary agency, period. So they can take as short or as long as they want to decide that they feel it's a viable project for them to finance.
Okay.
I
Has
would,
anyone checked with them at all?
I'm sorry?
Has anyone checked with them to see if anything?
I know that the town manager has been keeping tabs on it.
Okay.
And I will see her tomorrow, so I'll verify that we haven't received anything back, but normally she's really good about making sure everyone knows when we get something like that. My inference would be that we submitted a significant amount of data and opposition, and Mass Housing is taking that under consideration, and there may be some back and forth between Mass Housing and the applicant. They have the right to have him look at and amend what he's proposing before they feel they can issue site authorization or site approval. So the longer it goes, the more back and forth it would seem to me that there is. Whether that's the reality or whether we just hit them at a time when, between COVID and holidays and whatever, it's taking them longer, I don't know.
Is there any possibility that they're following up and checking on the accuracy and completeness of the statements that were on that application?
It's certainly possible, especially with the amount of information that was submitted back to them from the town.
Yes, right. Thank you. Master plan?
As far as I know, it's still ranked number 5 on the capital plan, and we'll cross our fingers and knock wood and see what town meeting says.
Now, was that for another 50 or was that for the whole?
That was for another 110, which would get us to just over 150, which would put us in a pretty strong position to go out to bid to receive some, hopefully, quality responses.
Excellent. Okay, well, we still have Linda with us. Is there any public comment?
Does not appear to be.
Board comment, concerns? Just me?
I think just you.
Okay, so public market, I've spoken about it numerous times here in this group. The Agricultural Commission, we're having difficulty regaining our footing from the COVID, and that's the only thing that I can think to explain. Probably the group that should bring that forth to town meeting. However, public market would be a benefit to the town, and I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination that the planning board could bring it forward. Another reason that I would prefer to have the planning board bring it forward is that the Agricultural Commission is just the appointed and the alternate members. We have no staff. We have no staff. It would be a benefit in my mind to have the town council and the review and the multiple sets of eyes on whatever gets, if in fact it does, on the warrant. It's a fairly standard Mass General Law that's been taken up, Worcester, I think is closest and most recent, farmer's market there. I think it's a 450,000 square foot area, that certainly wouldn't be that size for Lunenburg. Simply accepting that Mass General Law to have a public market obligates us to nothing. It simply allows us to have that on the books as something that, as a town, we've accepted, and it allows us to incorporate it into the current planning. And I think right now, especially since the Passio's building committee has changed a little bit, now we're also charged with potentially looking at other sites in the investigation, doing the needs assessment. So if we could get that on for the May meeting, and if it passed, then that would allow for actual planning to take place for possible locations, facilities, or anything. And it's just, I feel that without having it, it's not something proper that we could actually start planning on.
Well, I absolutely support the concept, and I think this is something that should be on our agenda. And if there is a mass, bylaw template, definitely think it's something we can take a look at. But I would absolutely support that.
Okay. Mr. Torgerson, you have any things on that?
I think it's a pretty solid idea.
Okay, that sounds like support. Yeah, so I guess maybe could we have that as a discussion topic on the warrant, on our meeting for Feb 28th?
We can.
And I'll get together with you, Adam, and give you as much information as I have.
Okay.
Okay, that would be great. Really appreciate that. So are there any other board comments or concerns?
Not for me.
Not for me.
The shortest planning board meeting I have ever been to.
Me too. So I would make a motion to adjourn.
There's a
I
second?
second it.
Excellent. Any further discussion about adjourning? Roll call vote. Mrs. Bertram?
Aye.
Mr. Torgerson?
Aye.
And an aye for myself. Thank you all very much. And
Thank
have
you
a
all.
good-
Have a good
You
night.
too. Good night, everybody.
See you in a month.
Have a good
See
night.
ya.
Recording stopped.